A short autobiography of Srila Bhakti Rakak Sridhar Goswami Maharaj. Transcription of a taped conversation. I was born at midnight Saturday the 10th of October 1895. Navami Tirthi, lunar day, under the same sign as Lord Ramachandra. Krishna Paksha, dark moon fortnight. Sriman Mahaprabhu was also born on a Saturday. I was the second child. The first was a daughter, but she died early. So Ram Kavach, a protective mantra and amulet, was given to my mother for the protection of the next child, that is myself. So I was born after my mother took Ram Kavach. There were two thatched rooms, one of which was the maternity room, because the first child had been lost after I was born and my mother was still confined within the maternity area. Just in the front of that place, my two English knowing cousins kept night watch to make sure that any ghosts or something like that may not come in the shape of a cat or in any other way. So, as they were reading and studying, they would protect the first half of the night. They were BA studying for MA, and during the second half or last portion of the night, two Sanskrit students, one cousin and another uncle, sat there just in front of that temporary shed reading to guard against any unseen attack. At that time, they all kept night watch. Then, as I remember when I was a boy being carried on the shoulder of my father, there was going in the distance one Sankirtan party. Crying, I asked him to take me there. Anyway, to console me, he took me there for some time and then came back. I had a very good memory, especially in Sanskrit. I was taught the shloka in praise of Lord Shiva, and I could chant that by memory. When I was 1 year, 8 months, my grandfather died, but I can't remember him. My earliest recollection is an earthquake. I was born in 1302, Mohammedan era, and 1304 in the month of Vaishak. There was an earthquake. I was only a child then of 1 year and 8 months or so, but I remember that. I remember the shaking of the earth, so many cows gathered, and so on. This is my earliest recollection. Then my first brother was born when I was 3. I remember the scene of the birth of my brother around August 1898. I also remember when I reached the age of 5 and I was engaged in studying writing, and I was given to my maternal uncle's house. Many things before that I can remember as well. And when I was in my maternal uncle's house for 3 years for early education in a primary school, I got some help from one of my aunts who taught me Ramayana and Mahabharata. They helped me a great deal. Already I had some affinity for all those things, some type of intuitive knowledge and partiality to ancient mythological teachings and culture of the Orthodox section. From very childhood, my tendency was with culture of the Orthodox section, Veda, Upanishad, etc., faith in God, all these things. At 9 years, I was admitted into high school. Intermediate these days, according to the system in India. As a student, there in the debating club, I always sided with the ancient Shastric culture, even against the teachers that took up the cause of the Renaissance or Reformation. I was always on the side of the previous culture. I fought with them, and I don't think they could defeat me. Then I got my sacred thread in the family tradition when I was 14 years of age. I feel that my memory was more or less quite sharp. I could remember what I saw and heard in my early age. I am told that I had a general tendency that if anyone would come to ask something, I would reply no. Whatever would be asked of me, no. But once, when one of our family members, a scholar, went to appear for his examination, he came to ask me whether he would pass or not. I pronounced yes, and he won a scholarship. Then I matriculated from the local high school when I was 15 years of age. I could write Sanskrit verse before that. I liked sacrifice in life, the magnanimous side. I had affinity for Lord Ramachandra, for the model pastimes, but not so much Lord Krishna, because of his Vrindavan Leela. I could not accommodate why God should be a liar and a girl hunter. I could not accommodate this. Though I saw Radha Govinda Murtis, they seemed to be very, very charming. I found some mystic background there, but on the surface I had more liking for Ramachandra than Krishna. My attraction to Krishna first came through Bhagavad Gita and then through Mahaprabhu. I liked Ramachandra for his magnanimity. I was mainly attracted by the self-giving ideal, so I liked Radharani very much. I liked Mahaprabhu very much, but my attraction to Krishna was less. My attraction to Krishna came through Mahaprabhu and through Radharani from their side. When I was 9 or 10 or so, there was a temple where Radha Krishna deities were installed in Jagadanandapur, near Katwa. Every year in Kartik month, my father used to read Srimad Bhagavatam there. Sometimes I visited that temple with him, and I found some mystic atmosphere there. It seemed very mystical to me. After matriculation, I went to Baharampur district, Mushirabad, for college study at the Krishnanath College. There, with the company of one of my cousins, my maternal uncle's son, I came into connection with the East Bengal people, who were renowned, we had heard, for their boldness and sacrificing nature. I took residence in the same hostel as them. Somehow I had passed matriculation, second division. Srila Guru Maharaj had suffered a very dangerous bout of malaria for a whole year at that time. But I passed intermediate arts in the first division. When we were studying in the local school, we had to do some family works along with our study. But now, from the hostel, I passed in the first division. Then I was again admitted in that same college at Baharampur. After the fourth year, we sat for the examination of BA. When I was a student of the fourth year, I came into the connection of a younger boy who had just passed matriculation and was newly admitted into the college. In the college, I found that there was a small section of students who were addicted to some meditation and puja, etc. And there was another group that did not care for worshipping, but they liked the service of patients and to do good for the public. But they have an internal nature for both. I was a fourth year student, and that boy was a first year student, 3 years gap. I found that he was given to both sides very intensely, taking the name of the Lord sometimes very loudly like a madman, and also doing Sandhya Vandana, regular morning, noon and evening prayers and worship. At the same time, when there was any patient, he would engage himself in their service, even neglecting to attend the college class. Both sides, social service as well as worship, were combined in him. Before this, when I was in school, I got a book where it is mentioned that if we can go on with the Japam meditational chanting of Gayatri 432 times daily, we can achieve a very good spiritual improvement. I practiced that for some time, and at that time I tried my best to understand the revealed truth without consulting any dictionary or grammar. I had heard that Gayatri is conscious, spiritual, not dead words. So if I go on with Japam, Gayatri, itself will express its meaning and purpose. I approached it with that attitude, and I used to feel some light coming from the words of Gayatri itself. I had some knowledge about that for some time. Then, as I said, I came in connection with that boy in college, and I tried to associate with him. His name was Sri Suresh Bhattacharya. He came from a Brahmin family of Faridpur. The founder of the Bharat Sevashram, Sri Pranavandana, Sri Pranavananda, was from his village. Sri Padmadhusudan Maharaj also comes from the same village, Bajay Pratappur, in the district of Faridpur. One day, when we two were going on a morning walk and also cleaning our teeth with small twigs, he referred to his father with the expression, "that gentleman," and I took exception to that. I said to him, "Why do you use this expression for your father? You say that gentleman." "What do you mean?" He said, "Yes, I have committed a wrong. I shouldn't have spoken in this way before you, but really it is like that. That gentleman, he was a gentleman, and in this life I came to him and he has protected me for some time, and in the next life I shall go to some other place. In this way we are moving hither and thither, coming to some gentleman and from there to another gentleman." Although I gave opposition, that point hit me very deeply. I began to think, yes, it is true. We are in the midst of father, mother, brother, or as he said, that gentleman. What real connection have I with them or they with me? We are all almost like strangers. Thinking and thinking on this point, the whole world became vacant. I felt a furious atmosphere with no shelter to take anywhere, a chaotic position, and I have no position of stability. Wherefore am I coming? Where to go? How long am I here to stay in this point in the infinite? I am an uncertain point in the whole of the infinite. A great shock came to me in this way, and that was the great turning point in my life.